All right, people, thank you for your patience. Me and Orion had some technical difficulties earlier, so we are recording this private session so you can watch it later at your leisure. So we're going to skip this early part, but just a quick disclosure that nothing that is being discussed in this presentation and session is an investment advice, or it's not a recommendation to buy or sell a particular stock, and stock trading and options trading is highly risky. So please do your due diligence, okay? And already have discussed what the home screen looks like for the app. And very soon we will be introducing the option to purchase credits from the website, so you don't have to purchase it from within the app if you don't want to. It is convenient though, but you have the option to do that. And so Orion, yeah, we started talking about him, how he got started and what was his earlier trading session looked like. We had technical difficulties, so now we're going to start with a couple of sessions. One second. Okay, so Orion, let's do one thing. I'll start with my questions first, and
okay.
I think then we can move forward where you can start sharing your screen with me. Okay, so
Okay.
let's do that. All right, so first question that somebody asked was, is there a particular way you would recommend folks to trade your alerts? I know you said that you like to buy half positions and stuff like that, but you wanna expand on that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. So like I said earlier, for example, I normally, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time I like to buy the overbought stocks, buy the puts on the overbought stock.
Mm-hmm.
And while that's great for me, sometimes it doesn't work out, and it goes against me a little bit, like maybe like for a few other candles. It pulls back a little enough, and then it goes up maybe like another 0.5% or a little more. And when it goes to extreme oversold, I normally add the other half, but I only add the other half if the option is 50% down. Then I add the other half.
Okay, I got
to
you.
average it down. Yeah.
So that when you average down, at least it makes some difference in the price, so that it doesn't have to go all the way back to your original price to give you profit, right? So
yes, I know it's not recommended by anybody. Everybody says, why would you add to a losing position?
Sure.
And I agree with that. But if I already have a high conviction that this is going to come down just a little bit, and it went up against me just a little more, that stock is bound to come down. I know it's going to come down for sure. And so I have really high conviction, and I would add the other half.
Cool. And Orion, do you base your entry and exit on price action, or like you did mention the other day, technical indicators you like to see are RSI and maybe something else as well? But
so the entry is pretty much based on resistance and support.
Okay.
And that needs to be in correlation with the RSI. So if I have a resistance, stock is hit, and the RSI is also on the overbought.
Okay.
To me, that's a pretty good indication to enter in for a quick drop.
Quick drop. Okay.
So that's my entry point. And my exit point, depending on how the stock goes, I normally look for 10 to 25%.
Okay. Yeah, I think that leads to the next question, where I think somebody asked was, what kind of percentage gains do you look for in the option position? Do you ever let them ride for a better return as well, or is there a particular dollar amount you're looking to make per day?
Normally, once it reaches 10%, the momentum is still with the stock on the direction that I was playing on. Let it go a little further.
Okay.
Once it stops going my way, I immediately
cut it.
Lock in profits, because it's especially right now. with this market
Sure.
that you never know which way it's going to go.
So Orion, would you recommend if an option play that you have open, if the return is already 10% and more, and you have not sent the closing alert yet, is it safe to say that they can close it on by themselves, and or they can at least start trimming their position and wait for you to?
I would definitely recommend to start trimming their position at 12%.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, because 12% on the option comes really fast.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
And vice versa. I can go the other direction very fast too.
Okay. And is there a particular time frame you base your alerts on, like a 5-minute, 10-minute chart, or anything like that?
Yes, 5 minutes. Most of the time I always use 5-minute charts, but sometimes lately I found myself using the 30 minutes and the 1 hour.
Okay.
The 1 hour, mostly I look at it for like a daily direction type of thing. Mm-hmm. So if I have a 1 hour chart, it gives me a bigger picture of which way the stock is going.
Okay.
And
okay.
Then been using the half an hour for more of a momentum.
Okay. And then the lower time frame just to kind of time the entry.
Exactly. Yep. And the 5-minute chart just to for the entry and the exit.
And do you pay any attention to this market sentiment? Like, for example, today was, Dow was 400 points down, and definitely you were playing puts. But I have seen you going against the market sometimes as well, Orion, where, market is selling off and you're buying calls,
Yeah.
Is there a particular reason you do that, or,
Yeah, it seems like I'm always against the market. Yesterday the market was going up and I was buying puts all day long. And I started buying puts ever since yesterday. And and I asked myself the same question. The reason why at least it seems to me that I'm always going against the market is because of the RSI.
Okay.
About it. Like if having a bull market or if we're having a rally that day, most of the stocks RSI is above,
right,
or above 60 and 70. And that's when I'm looking to short, when the RSI hits.
But Orion, they can remain extended and overbought for, considerable amount of time. And that's where, you got to decide if you want to take a loss or what.
It does remains extended over time sometimes, but what happens, I've noticed what happens most of the time is the RSI comes down a little bit, and it comes down just enough. So it goes from 72 to like 65, and the stock has only dropped a little bit.
Okay. Yes.
And then on the way back up, when the stock is higher, RSI is a little bit lower.
Okay.
I think that's a perfect time to either enter or add to that stock. And most of the time, that's when it really pays off.
Okay. Okay. So would you say do you look for any sort of divergences? Like, for example, stock is making a higher high while the RSI is making a lower high?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you do consider that as well? All right.
Yep, absolutely.
What kind of educational materials did you rely on? I know you talked briefly about it in our previous session, but maybe you want to mention it again.
Mostly, to be honest with you, just a lot of YouTube, and just followed a lot of
just online resources, basically.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Mostly YouTube. I bought a few. I bought a few courses on Udemy, but that's it. And I never really bought any books or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's these days really I don't know who does, because everything is available on internet.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And another question was where somebody's asking, what makes you decide whether you want to go for an option trade versus a stock trade? Is there a particular reason you pick option versus a stock?
Most of the time, the reason why I pick stock is because, let's say, I think a certain. Let's say, I think Intel is going to go from, I don't know, from where is Intel right now? 38, 40-ish? I forgot.
Something like that. Yep. I can take a look.
Oh, let me see.
Intel, Intel, Intel is at right now 44.
Okay. So INTC. So if I'm thinking that Intel, give me 1 second because I'm trying to look it up too. Yeah. So if I'm thinking Intel is going to go up to 49,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think it's going to go through a little bit of volatility. Buying a stock would be a much better option because it's obviously it doesn't have an expiration and it's not going to decay.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And versus buying a stock or option, you know, it's just
Hmm.
it can go either way. But with having a stock, it's a lot easier to sell than selling an option.
Got it. Do you do any other option structures like vertical trading, spreads, etc., or you stick with these, single call buying or put buying?
No, just puts and calls.
Just puts and calls, simple and we can.
Right now.
Okay. And
Yep.
and are there any certain hours during the day that you avoid to trade? For example, lunchtime or last hour, things like that, or not really?
My favorite time of the day is around 12 o'clock, to be honest.
Oh, okay. I don't.
By then,
A lot of people avoid that actually, but yeah, let's. Wow, that's great. Okay.
yeah. I mean, it seems like that when you buy stocks at the open,
Mm-hmm.
you're almost gambling. It seems.
Yeah, you don't know what direction will it take after half an
Yeah.
hour. Okay.
At least 12 o'clock or 10:30, 10:30, 11:30-ish. But let's say the 12 o'clock the latest, you definitely have a pretty good idea which way if the market is going to be choppy or it's going to go up. And then when it reaches a certain peak, you know that the market is getting weak and it's going to pull back a little bit more.
Okay.
And you take advantage of that and you buy some puts. And vice versa when it goes down too. When it weaks or when it stops, when sellers get tired, you're going to get that little pop and the RSI is all the way at the bottom.
Okay. And Orion, what is the maximum loss you're willing to take on an individual trade? Like, I know you go for 10 to 15 or 20% profit targets, but what determines your stop loss where you're like, okay, this trade is dead now?
My stop loss is 50%. My mental stop loss. No, I don't really use a actual stop.
Actual stop loss. Okay.
Yeah, but my mental stop loss is 50% after I add the 50%.
Okay. Okay.
So once I bought
All right.
I bought an option and it went down 50% and I added the other half of the position.
Mm-hmm.
It goes against me again, then that's like, okay, you can't lose anymore. That's it.
Okay. All right. No, that makes sense because, I will, of course, we don't recommend anybody to put 20% of their portfolio in one trade, So
no, absolutely not.
Right. So even if you are, if you lose the trade or something, you're down 50, 60%, as long as it's 1 to 2% of your overall portfolio, you can take that loss and move on,
Absolutely.
That's good to know. Yeah, let's share your screen. I'll stop sharing and maybe you want to go over a couple of trades that you did today, for example, Facebook or I even, and you want to show us your levels, why you took that trade and stuff like that.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Sure.
I did took it off.
Okay.
I took it because for some reason it wasn't sharing this.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I overloaded the Think and Swim, and then once I
yeah, Thinkorswim takes so much of your computer's resources, and I know it takes forever to start as well in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. I always leave it on. I never take it off.
Yeah, I also leave it on, but sometimes when it's like really dead, I just restart.
Yeah. That's all I really use the computer for, just to chart in. I don't then the rest, everything is on the phone.
So I know you mentioned that you do keep a watch list, but is that watch list just basically, Dow 30 stocks or something else as well?
That's what I always have on my watch. I have other watch lists that I've been paying attention less and less,
Okay.
but mostly I focus on the Dow Jones. They're just a lot easier to trade. Lately I've been trading a lot of FANG stocks, and they're very wild. Like
Yeah,
Netflix
definitely.
and the and Amazon has just been horrible to me. I just can't get it right. I've been trying. I've been trying the Russell 2000, the IWM,
IWM, yes. Yes, I saw that.
and that's not been working
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of
too
IWM.
well with me either. But normally, just to
Yeah. Do you ever trade options on SPX? I know they're very volatile and move very fast, actually. But I know you do it on SPY, but then
no, I never have.
no, okay. Yeah, look it up. They move very fast, though. Kind of dangerous too sometimes.
That's that,
I played that towards the end today when I was posting that chart.
I,
So that was a quick, like 30-40%.
okay. SPX is a leverage ETF for SPY, right?
I believe so. Yes, I believe so. Yes. Yeah. It does move
Okay.
a lot, though, definitely.
Let me-
With even little bit.
Yeah, I'm curious why I never did. Thanks for bringing it to my attention.
Yeah, just
I
look it
actually
up. I mean,
that's what
you might like it. I mean, if you play the support and resistances, SPX can give you pretty
yeah.
good return. It just kind of be careful when you do that. Because
So SPX, what's the? I don't see it. It's not coming up.
it will come up
SPX.
in Swim. I don't know why is it not available in like other platforms sometimes. But if you look it up in stockcharts.com or you look it up on Thinkorswim, I'm sure you will find it there. Definitely. But yeah, okay. Somebody's calling me. Let me see.
Yeah. So
All right, so we are sharing Thinkorswim platform, and Orion is going to walk us through a trade that he took today, why he took, what levels he was looking at, and all that stuff. So Orion, do you want me to get rid of this volume?
no. Well, oh yeah. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't use the volume. I
Yeah,
know it's
let me
but
get rid of.
irrelevant.
Yeah, it's irrelevant. Okay, that's fine. We'll just leave it there. Let me increase that.
That's exactly the kind of setup I have.
Okay, all right. So this is a Facebook trade, Facebook chart, 5-minute chart with RSI and the moving averages, the exponential moving averages, the 6 and the 12. So the 6 is the red and the 12 is the blue. So, okay. So Orion, here it is. So you took a trade,
Okay.
Facebook. Let me show them the trade that you took this morning.
Okay, so the first trade was at 9:35.
9:38 a.m. So this trade, right?
So 9:35.
Yes, that's fine. That's the same
I'm
trade.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So he took this trade. We're gonna switch onto the chart. So here you are. Okay. So
Yep. So if you go to 9:35,
right. Yep.
right there, you would see that
RSI is above 70. Right.
Yeah, I took it right at the right there, exactly right there.
Okay. Okay.
And once it dropped right here, that was enough for a 25% profit. I took it was the 35 strike put.
Okay.
And it was the price was 135.
Okay. And I think you took another trade, another Facebook trade after that, right? So if I go all the way down here. So you took multiple Facebook trades, then you opened one another at 9:58, about 10 o'clock. So I think it was right here somewhere, 9:58.
Yes.
Okay. So I see there was this bearish
No, I
engulfing.
think it was right at the high.
Oh, right at the high here. Okay.
What time was it? 9:58?
It says 9:58. Oh, 9:45. Sorry, 9:45. Created 9:45. So you took that trade at 9:45, which
Hello?
is right here. So I think you opened that trade right here at the high. Hey, Orion, can you hear me? I think we're losing him again. Could be my computer again.
I'm sorry. I think I lost you.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm sorry. 1 second, because I think I lost you.
It's okay, Orion. I think
That was it?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Orion? Oops. Okay, so I think we lost Orion again. But here is the Thinkorswim platform again. So I think he created this alert at 9:45, and which he closed at 9:58. So he created it right here at 9:45, I believe, where the RSI was above 70, and the 5-minute candle was making a bearish engulfing candle. And at 9:58, which is right about here, he closed the alert. He closed the puts, and it came out. So I think we do understand a little bit of how he trades. He looks at 5-minute charts. He looks at RSI. He looks at exponential moving averages, 6 and 12. Everybody looks at them differently. Some people like 9 EMA. Few people like 13 EMA. So it depends. Whatever works for you, whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever you've had good experience with in trading, that's what you do. Let's just, while he's not here, I'm going to try to read his mind here and see if I can see why he took that particular trade. Let's see. Let's see. SPY. Okay, he created that on at 11:50. He entered that trade. 11:50 SPY. Let's see what was SPY doing at 11:50. Let's zoom in. Okay, 11:50 is right here. Right here. Is that he said? 11:50. So RSI above 60, close to 65, 70. And the stock itself is above both the moving averages. We have red candle, bearish candles, some selling pressure here. So he took that trade and shorted it, and he covered, or he closed his put at 12:04. So he kept it for 14 minutes. So 11:50 entry right about here, and 12:04, which is right here. So he waited for candle and a half in the 5-minute time frame, and he came out, and that gave him about what did he give it? About 20%. Not bad. Yeah, options move fast. So, and he said that he likes to open it with a half position and then add on to it if it goes against him. But only does that if he still feels that the stock will come back, and he only adds once the position has moved 40 to 50% against him in percentage terms. Again, it can be a lot for somebody who's playing more size, but if you're playing the right size, you should be able to write that. Everybody's account is different. Everybody's level of risk aversion is different. So please practice proper risk management. Do not overtrade. You own your account. There can always be another trade. So if things are not working out, come out. There's always another trade to make up that. Okay. hopefully you guys liked it, and thank you everyone for being patient today. We had some really bad technical problems with his computer, and I think he apologized as well. But the good thing is we are getting this session out to you guys to review, and got him to answer all the questions that I had consolidated in the past 3 or 4 days. So we'll try to have another session again sometime soon, and see how we go from there. Okay, thank you everyone, and I hope you like the session, and take care.